reason that this took forever to download or for to upload is because my original 35-minute video got erased. So you can imagine how frustrating that must be. 35 minutes, right? So let's go through this for me again. We're going to go through lesson 7, the typographic design. You're basically going to create this girl, let little things come out of her mouth, and do some cool little things like this. The new one's different, so it's slightly different. You're going to download these 3 files: the start Photoshop document, the metal TIFF, which is a very large video, or I'm sorry, it's a very large image, and then you're going to get the match font JPEG. If you click on that match font and then you click on it again, it downloads for you. So that's what you want. You want to make sure you got those 3 things. And the last one is the 6/7 Masks and Channels PDF. So I already have those open on my other screen. So let me move this over. This is the thing I did 35 minutes ago. But I got to walk through this again. So obviously I open this up. 6/7 is already is there. I'm going to go down to 6. I'm going down to 7. And here's the typographic design. This is basically what you're creating. So I'm going to walk you step by step, and we're going to do this again. Or I'm going to do this again. See, looks very much like this. This is another little thing here. So the first thing we want to do is open up that lesson 7. So we're going to go to File, Open, and we're going to get that lesson 7 that you got. So it has none of the type on there, just the girl with the head that you remember from lesson 6. They want us to file save as 07 working. So let's go ahead and do that so that you don't lose your work. 07 working. We also want to make sure it's not in a place like the downloads, because that would be unwise. We want to make sure it's in somewhere like Collier Schools. And once it's there and it's a Photoshop document and we continuously save, you won't lose your stuff. Okay, you won't have that problem. So we got that, we're good, we're going to start working. So now we're going to create a clipping mask. But before we add those masks and stuff, we want to make sure that we add some guides. So the first thing we're going to do is view fit on screen. Okay, so you can do view fit on screen like that, or Control-0. And now you're going to view the rulers. My rulers are already present, but you could do view rulers to see them. There's a chance yours is in pixels or points or something weird like that. You want to make sure it says inches, right? All I did was right click on here and I chose inches. Then you're going to position your pointer over the left ruler. That's over here. And you're going to drag a vertical guide out from the left and then drop it in the center of the document, which is 4 1/4. So I'm taking my index and I'm holding down this ruler. You heard the click. And it's going to 4 1/4. You can even see it gives you like a preview. So when we're done with that, it says in the layers panel, select the pattern layer fill. So that we're in the layers panel here, pattern layer fill. Yours could be hidden down here or something like that. So bring it up so you can see. In the horizontal type tool, in the options, do the following. So we're talking about this character over here, or these in the options. So if I had this horizontal, they're talking about the stuff up here. I also like to do it here. So it says it wants Minion Pro Regular. Let's find Minion Pro Regular. It's regular now. It wants it at 115. And it wants the center text. That would be this right here. If you don't know what it is, hover over, it'll tell you. So I centered it, I have that ready. In the character panel, change tracking to 50. This is what they're talking about here. If you don't have this, you have to go to Window, Character. See if I do that, it's not there. Window, Character, now it's there. And what they want you to do is have that tracking list of VA, and they want that to be 50. So I have that at 50. Now that's basically going to change the spacing between the letters. So now position your pointer over the guide, about right here. So I have the type tool right here in the center. And then they want you to click and type in typecast in all capital. Then hit commit. So I hit commit. If yours happens to be another color, you can always do this, change it. Let's say yours came out red, white. I want this one black, I'll leave it black. Okay, so now double click it to edit it. We can double click it to edit. And then in this bar right here, however, for the font list, they want you to choose a font name. So now they decided to change their mind, change it to Myriad Pro Semi-Bold. So I'm going to type that in. Myriad Pro Semi-Bold. Now it looks different. Then they want you to commit to that. I hit the check. Now they want you to move it so that it looks like it's better. If you had something up here, if you printed this as a magazine, it could get cut off. So you want this at a smart location. File save. Let's go ahead and save. You see it said saving. We're good. Typecast. Now we get to create the fun thing called a clipping mask. Some of you hate it. I think it's pretty cool. A lot of graphics and stuff use it. So you're going to go to the layers panel and make sure that the typecast is selected. So layers panel, it's selected because it's highlighted. File place embedded. We're going to do file place embedded, that TIFF. The TIFF is an image. It's just an extremely large file image. So when you have an image like that, it may take, mine already loaded, yours may take some time. Give it a couple seconds. With the bounding box still active, drag the metal layer up until it's aligned at the top. So with it still active, right? I want you to move it up so it's covering up that typecast. Then press enter to finish placing it. So I'm going to hit enter. I'm done. I placed it. With the metal layer still selected, we know it is because we see this bounding box. Choose layer, create clipping mask. Layer, and we're going to create this clipping mask. So what that did, you can even see this little arrow here. It clipped away what the type was to display and show that metal, basically. So select the typecast layer. Okay, so I'm going to select the typecast layer. And I'm going to choose the Style Effects button at the bottom of the panel and choose Inner Shadow. So that's this right here. I'm going to choose Inner Shadow. Now it's going to give me some options. So in the layer in this box right here, they want the blend mode to multiply. I'm there. They want the opacity to 48. Yours wouldn't be 48. Remember I told you I already did this. The angle is 120. That's just where the light is coming from. And the distance, 18. You can type it in or use a slider. Choke to 0. Size to 16. You can even see a little preview over here of what that looks like before you do it. Then click OK. So now my typecast looks a little cooler. Looks a little more stand out. So I'm going to go ahead and file and save. All right, creating a type on path. So basically, how do you type on a path that was created? In this case, the little words coming out of her mouth. So in the layers panel, select the model layer. Model, there she is. And then choose window paths to show the path panel. Mine's already displayed. Yours might not be. You do window, paths. Now there is a possibility yours opened up down here, somewhere weird. Look for it, and then dock it somewhere with like I put this blue so I can see it. You don't have to do that, but you want to be able to see it so you can use it. So now when I click the speech path, this shows up, the path where her mouth is. So now select the horizontal type tool in the options bar and write a line. So here's this, and then the options bar, we're going to change this to write a line. In the character panel, select the following. Font family is Myriad Pro. I got it. Font size, 14. Oh, so it's small. Change it to 14. Whoops, that's 144. I meant 14. So it's tiny. The tracking, -10. So your tracking looks like a VA over here in the character panel. They said they wanted it -10. Okay, and then they want the color to be white. So I'm going to choose white. And then they want it in all caps. All caps is the capital looking T's right here, and if you don't know, and you hover over, it tells you. Move the horizontal tool. This is very important. I'm going to stop, pause here. The horizontal type tool over the path, small curved line appears when you cross the squiggle. Click near the end of the path closest to your mouth. If you don't do this, let me intentionally do this wrong. So you see how this looks like here when I hover over. It changed. But if I click here, my typing stops here. I'm cut off. I can't finish what I'm writing. That's a problem, right? So let me go. I purposely did that wrong. Let me go back. You want to make sure that you go as close to her mouth as you can. So I'm going about here. It says type what's new in 3D. What's new in 3D type, question mark. As you type, it was right aligned because it started on the right and it fills out. So with this same type tool, they want you to grab only the 3D type portion and they want it to be bold. So what you can do is change that here or here. It's up to you. And they want it bold. Makes it stand out just a little bit more. You hit this and you commit. What's new? I spelled that wrong. What's new in 3D type? I don't think this is bold. This doesn't look bold. I guess no, it's bold. It just doesn't look bold to me. Okay. So now we're going to duplicate these. So think about this when you duplicate something. It gets right on top of it. So you have this, you put it on top. The bottom one is still there. You just can't see it because you have to move the other one. It's the same concept. Now, this process is a little laggy, so you have to be aware that it's a little laggy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to where it has layer, duplicate layer, okay. So I have this here. I go to layer. I go to duplicate layer. I hit okay. It's there. It's just directly on top of here. So you're going to do edit, free transform path. Edit, free transform path. And then up here, you're going to change the rotate to 15 degrees. That rotated that. I know I told you that it's kind of buggy. And then you're going to hit the commit button or enter. I'm going to hit are done. Okay, see now it appeared. I told you it's a little buggy. Now they want you to move that one a little bit higher. I move that higher. And they want you to change the 3D to web. So I double clicked here and I change that to web. So now it looks like this. What's new in web type? What's new in web type? When you edit it, the layer automatically updates to match. And the layer will not update edited name. So it still says it's a copy, but you could change that. I don't really care. It displays properly. They want us to repeat that process from the 3D one, except this time they want us to change that rotate. So I'm going to grab that and do layer, and I'm going to go to duplicate layer. I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to change this. They said they wanted to -15. So edit, free transform. And this one they want -15. -15. I'm going to hit done. And now I'm going to move it. Okay. And they want that one to say type effects. So double click that. Type effects. Okay, we're going to go ahead and file save. So we're kind of basically done with that part. Now we're going to do warps. So if necessary, zoom or scroll, I would do that. It's easier to see. You can hit Alt and scroll in if you have a mouse. If you're on a keyboard, you can choose to do Alt and plus, or you can use your zoom. Whatever you need to zoom in so you can see. Now we're going to choose the what's new in 3D. What's new in 3D? That's this one right here. I got it. Choose type, warp text. Type, warp text. They want the wave. Chose wave. And then they want the blend of that wave to be 33, the distortion to be negative 23, and the vertical to be 5. You're going to hit OK. This gave it a little, it looks like it came in and out a little bit. It gave it a different effect. Now it says repeat the steps. I want you to grab the other ones. One, type, warp text, and I want you to basically choose any one you think is interesting. And you can do the effects however you do to just make them look a little different. Okay, so when you're done changing yours to look different, right? You're gonna zoom out so you can see, or you can do view, fit on screen, or Control-0. Now I can see everything that I created. So it's looking kind of cool. So now we're gonna do some guides. If necessary, zoom or scroll so we can see this whole part, and drag a guide from the left vertical ruler at a quarter from the right edge. So I'm moving this to about, this is 8.5, so I'm gonna move it around 8, around there. I'm not gonna be upset if you're off by the smallest amount. And then this one now we want at 2 inches. So now we have an area to place our boxes. Position the move tool near the yellow sticky note. And on the right corner of the image when it appears black, yours may appear white. So this is what you're going to do here. You're going to hover over or have the move tool, right? If you hover over this, see how this all looks the same? If I get the left corner, it changed. I want that. If I double click that, it opens the notes. Now, if for some reason you were having a lot of issues with this, it is possible. You could always go to Window and Notes. It will display these notes. If not, that double click works. But like I said, if you're getting frustrated because you can't figure it out, Window Notes. All I want you to do is they want all this text. I want you to copy it. So edit, copy it. We're using this text. So a lot of editors, if they're having a combined project, they may put these in here as basically a note for the next person to use. So now we're going to put a text box. So let's grab the text tool here. Let me close this out. And from about right here, where we made our guide, all the way here, they want a 4 by 6 inch box. So I got 4. Told you mine's not perfect. It's okay. By 6 inches. Right here. It gave me my placeholder text. I'm going to go to edit paste. Because I'm going to paste. Okay, so if you end up with the same issue I did, right, where it wasn't there, you might have to reopen those notes and copy this again. Okay, so now it's there, but it doesn't look correct. So the first 3 lines, the trend cast, they want you to apply these settings here. They want, I'm going to select them. They want Myriad Pro. I got Myriad Pro up here. If you don't, you got to look for it. They want regular, not bold. So let me change mine to regular. They want the size to be 70. They want the leading to be 55. Whoops, I wasn't done yet. They want the leading to be 55, which is the double A. And then they want the tracking to be 50. So that leading is the spacing between, basically, like if you were to hit paragraph, that spacing between each line. So then the VA here is that tracking, and they want that 50. They want the color of it white. It is. With it still selected, make sure it's the right align button is selected. Right align up here. It is. So now they want just the trend. They want it to be bold. So now that you've done that, if I click off of this, you can see what we've done, the trend cast. And that's how we set those spacings here of the text. So now we're going to do something with the rest of the stuff. So for the rest of the text, let's do Myriad Pro. Let's do a font size of 22. Let's do a leading of 28. Let's do a tracking of 0. And let's deselect all caps, so it's no longer in caps. All right, text looks good, but it all looks the same. Let's make those headlines stand out. So they're talking about what's hot. You want that one bold. I guess mine's already bold. Don't think all these are supposed to. Let me select all these and make sure they're not bold. They're supposed to be regular. There we go. So now I'm choosing the bold on the what's hot. And they want that to be 28, so they want it like slightly bigger. And now that's bigger. Now select the word trend. Oh, sorry, it says repeat that for the what's not. So all this stuff, they want you to do the exact same thing for what's not. So they want it bold, and then they want it 28. All right, so now they want the word trend in a different color. They want a bluish color. So instead of guessing the bluish color, we want to use specific values. There are some people who are colorblind. They don't see blue the way you see blue. So the best way to do that is to just use code for it. In this case, it's 0 red, 174 green, 239 blue, or this. I'm just going to copy this because I find that easier. And here's my little code box for that. I got the exact blue. Doesn't matter what kind of hues of blue you see. I'm going to go ahead and hit commit. And then I'm going to save the changes. All right, so for the finishing up, I'm going to get rid of this note that I have here. So remember I was telling you about the weird, you have the move tool here selected, and you hover over, your mouse should change. So now I have that. I'm going to right click, I'm going to delete the note. So now it's not there. Then I'm going to do view to fit basically the whole thing. So view, fit on screen. Now I can see all of it. I'm going to do view show guides. So view show guides. Deselected it. And then I'm going to file and save. We're done with the girl with the hair. We will be doing a project with this next week. But before you finish up an export, I asked for you guys to do an extra thing. So before you export, I want you to take this typecast layer, which is here, along with your metal clipping mask. I want you to select both of them. You can hit Shift and have them selected. I want you to copy paste. I put Control C, Control V. That creates an additional of the same thing. I want you to move it so it's above the model layer, so her. And now I want you to put you and your partner's name. I want you to resize that so that it fits the page, right? And then move it somewhere, like not off the clipping mask, but right about here, so I can tell you use the clipping mask. And that is looking very much like the other one that I did. All right, so now that you're done with that, I want you to go ahead and do the file export. You're going to export as. You're going to leave all of your settings exactly the same. You're going to export that as a JPEG, right? JPEG. You're going to put it in a smart location like your OneDrive. It can be the working, as long as it's your 7 working. And that's what you're going to turn in. That's all you got to do. Hope you enjoyed it.